Alright, what's going on, guys? So after doing some research, lots of phone calls, been through 2 DOT audits where they come to your house and you spend like 5 days with them. They check out your trucks. So I found out a little loophole. So I'm assuming this works in all the states, but at least it works in Minnesota. Minnesota is pretty regulated. So if you have a moving company, the way to get around all the regulations, so you don't have any employees, you don't have workers' comp, you don't have cargo insurance, you don't have to do any of that crap. All you do is you call the federal DOT in charge of your state. You ask them this question. You ask them, if I want to become a broker that stays local, that doesn't go out of state, just want to be a local broker, do I need a DOT number or any sort of insurance or anything to report to? And in Minnesota, you don't need anything.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
So basically, you just need a business and you get the leads, and then you contract it out to local moving companies that are licensed and insured, and you don't need to have anything on file, like I said, because there's no regulation.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
So, and then what most big moving companies and anybody that has half a brain, if you do go out of state, you just rent the truck. Because the cops, because we've been pulled over by cops, they don't pull over rental trucks because they're really smart. Why would they? You know, why would they actually do some real work? So, yeah, pretty much. Because I've asked them, you know what the movie companies do? They just rent the trucks. They're like, oh no, we don't need to pull those guys over.
Sounds good, buddy.
I'm like, huh, okay. So, so that's it. So if you go out of state, you just rent a truck. You're not gonna get pulled over. You don't have to stop at the weigh stations. And that's part of the reason why there's so many freaking when out-of-state moving companies that screw people over, because they don't do a good job. Is the bottom line. The officers, they get the low-hanging fruit. You know, the obvious. You know, the semis, or just they don't actually want to do some real work. And so what else? That's pretty much everything. So how you'd want to set it up, because a lot of the big moving companies these days, they just sub out the work. They don't, for a reason, because it's less headache. They don't have a huge training program if they deal with employees. Like Locomotion, they just contract all the work out. Same with AAA movers. They don't have any employees. They just use smaller moving companies to do all their work. So it's a lot easier, and you basically do like a 60-40 split. So the contractor gets 60%, the broker gets 40%, and so that's how you'd set it up. Now I would actually look into anything that has a DOT number. Okay, could be asphalt repair, could be construction. I would look up to see if you can be a broker in any of those, and then do the same system, so you can get away with, you know, pretty much anything that involves a DOT number. You can get away with it doing this. Just say you want to become a local broker and do it that way. So I haven't looked into that part, but I mean, it sounds like you probably could. So if you say you're a broker, and that's pretty much how, with the internet, that's how everything is shifting. There's a lot, like Thumbtack is like a lead generation, and they do all sorts of services, but they're not licensed, they're not insured. Like they have a basic business insurance, but anybody can get that, you know. but they don't have like cargo insurance or whatever insurance you need to build a house, all that stuff, bonded, all that crap. They don't have any of that stuff. So it makes you think, you know, like all those moving companies that do all this crap to get licensed and insured, and, you know, when you need to do any of that stuff. It's like giant BS game to make life harder for smaller businesses and bigger companies too. And so yeah, I mean, I'm all about saving people money, doing things the right way, so you guys can have more freedom, you know, less stress. And so yeah, so if you liked this video, you thought it was informative, you know, share it with your friends, like it, and spread the word, you know. So it's important that you say that you want to be a local broker. So if you say you want to be out-of-state broker, then you have to have a broker license. You have to get some sort of, it's not cargo insurance, but some sort of business insurance. Not very hard, and you have to take some sort of test, I think, and then it's like $600 to $800, you know, and that's it. So, but then you have to, I'm sure you have to have all their insurance, their household good carrier license, their MC license, all that on file. Then you got to comply with all the million rules they have, these crazy rules. So it's important that you say that you want to be a local broker. So if I were to start like a contracting company with, you know, like built houses or something like that, I would say, hey, I want to be a local broker. We're just going to stay in Minnesota, and see if that would work. Then you don't have to have like DOT numbers. Same with doing like asphalt business. Say, hey, I just want to be a broker that subs jobs out to other asphalt companies just locally in Minnesota, and see if that works. So that process. So because moving is very regulated, it's extremely regulated. So I can't imagine the other industries being as regulated as moving. So so that's my take. So when I called the DOT and I asked them, or first I just went on the internet and searched, and it said, if you stay local, there's nothing to report, or there's nothing to, you don't have to comply with. They just said it in a really professional way, and I was like, is that what I think it just says? Because it kind of says that there's nothing we have to do. We basically just have to be a business that can just be underneath your social. And I was like, no way. Because this is just insane, like how much crap you have to comply with, you know, and how crazy they are, right? So then I call up the state, and they had no idea. They were like, gosh, you know, a local broker? I don't really know. And I'm like, oh, okay, what about, they knew about the out-of-state. If you go out-of-state, you have to comply. Then I called another department in Minnesota, and they said, oh yeah, you have to follow these rules and everything and all this. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to push this just a little more. So then she gave me another number for the federal office in Minnesota. And I talked to them, called them, left a voicemail. Of course, never got a hold of anybody. He actually wound up texting me. I don't know his name, I forgot, but he texted my cell phone. I didn't know it was him. I was just like, I had his number saved, but because I called him for other stuff. And then I messaged him back, and he's like, yep, let me just confirm. And he's like, yeah, if you're a local broker, you don't have to do anything. And I was like, basically, I just have to have a business, right? That's it. And then he like, he didn't respond after that, but basically, that's it. You just need a business. So, and then Jeff Cummins, he called me up. He's the guy who audited us. Came over our house, everything for 5 days. And he confirmed back with me saying, yep, if you stay local, you're good. You just have to make sure you tell your customers or make it obvious that you're a broker. And I was like, sounds good. You know, like, okay, no big deal. Wow. Like, why didn't they just tell me this in the beginning? You know? Instead of throwing, you know, $46,000 worth of fines at us, right?
So